Oh, he was dogged. He had a determination about him, and you knew he was an accurate shooter.
It has come down to this possession.
They want Michael to get a full head of steam.
Well, Pippen got the step.
Thompson out the horse.
Here's Paxson.
Paxson for three.
I had a couple of teams interested in me. It was Phoenix, Atlanta, and the Bulls. And a guy that I didn't know by the name of Jerry Krause kept calling me, and I was the type of guy that I was always looking for the most security I could get, because I wanted to survive in the league. And so when the Bulls offered me a 3-year deal and they had to buy my rights from San Antonio for $50,000, I signed in with Chicago. And I've thought often, especially as I've gotten older, about what that's meant to my career. I couldn't have foretold anything that was going to happen for myself that day.
That guy, man, he had fire. People always ask me, when you play with Michael Jordan, what do you better have? I said, first of all, you better have tough skin. More importantly, you better have his trust. And John Paxson had both of those things. His work every day showed me who he was. John Paxson had a motor, he was highly conditioned, he had toughness, and he could shoot the out of the ball.
John became Michael's probably favorite teammate to play with, I would say. He was Michael's rock.
They gave us time to grow together, and we had the two young guys in Boris and Scotty that were growing into the players they would become. The trade for Bill Cartwright gave us, kind of an identity and some toughness too. There was a trust that was born over all those years of getting beat up by Detroit.
This is a war down in there. Dumars and Paxson.
Paxson tracking Thomas.
Back to John Paxson.
Thomas squeezing through.
This dude's an animal. He's a beast. He never backed down from a challenge. One of the toughest guys I've ever played with, hands down. He'd take charges. He'd get elbowed in the face. There were times where Isaiah would throw elbows at him in the face, and John would just eat him. Eat him.
And toughness is a skill. It's not an intangible. Pax had that in spades.
Michael is always the guy that you would think to take the big shots. This is Michael Jordan time. Sometimes it's not Michael Jordan time.
The Bulls looking for their first ever NBA championship.
Game 5 in 1991, clinching the championship. Probably the only time I saw Michael Jordan nervous at the end of that Game 5 when the Bulls were on the verge of clinching a championship. And famously, Phil Jackson pulls him aside and says, "Who's open, Michael?"
You're double teaming you every time you put the ball on the floor, Michael. Who's open?
Who's open? Who's open?
I said John's open. Pax is open.
John Paxson is open.
So get him the ball.
Game 6. Paxson. Yes! John Paxson again. And the Bulls lead.
Bang, bang. He made all those jump shots in a row and carried the fourth quarter for the Bulls.
You watch those highlights. He was shooting the ball outside. He was driving. It was, it was a special moment.
And the Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
When the pressure is on and the world is watching, who do the players trust? Pax was one of those guys that you could trust. That trust, it doesn't come easily. You have to earn that.
I'm just glad I was able to step up, and I got the shots and I knocked them down. I'm happy for the guys in this room and the coaching staff. We put in a lot of hard work to get here.
Basketball's a team game. It always has been, it always will be.
13 and 6/10 seconds remaining in the fourth. The Suns by 2. It will be Chicago in possession.
It kind of was just symbolic of what we had become as a team, that all 5 of us touched the ball.
They want Michael to get a full head of steam. Try to keep him in the middle of the floor.
Well, Pippen got the step. Here's Paxson for 3. Yes! The Bulls take a 1-point lead, and Phoenix calls for time with 3 and 9/10 seconds.
One of the greatest plays in Chicago Bulls history. There was no doubt when he shot the ball that it was going in.
He doesn't make that shot that go into Game 7 in Phoenix. And now not only anything could happen, but you're on the road in Phoenix with that team having momentum coming back down 3-1.
Guys made the right play, given how the defense played. When Barkley dove at Scotty, he made a decision. When Horace caught it and there was some pressure around him, he made a decision. That's what good teams do.
To have that grit and that toughness and that heart to be able to take that shot and nail it.
Everybody know how Michael Jordan is, like to trust somebody with the last shot. He was a player that is always going to keep himself ready for the moment, no matter what. And that's when the work comes, that's when the unseen hours come into play.
When he had that ball, I had a lot of confidence in the guy. We've been together for so long. He's always knocked in big shots for us when we needed it. This goes into his repertoire as another shot that means a lot to us.
You're always ready. I mean, in the moment, you're not thinking about what could happen. You're just reacting to what is in front of you. So it's so long ago. I don't remember. All I know is every time I see it now, the shot still goes in, and that's all that matters.
Way to go, Pac. This is a dream. What can I say? Maybe we were the ones destined to win after all. What a great feeling. I can't describe what I feel.
Clutch. I mean, this guy's hit some of the biggest shots in Chicago Bulls history.
You know, I think his devotion to the game.
Pax knew what it took to win a championship, and he was trusted when the game was on the line. And that, to me, is who John Paxson is.
John Paxson represents the Bulls and the community and the franchise as well as anybody ever has.
There is no one who cares more about the Chicago Bulls than John. He bleeds Chicago Bulls red.
John was a guy you could trust and understand he was going to do the right thing out there on the floor.
Such a high character human being.
He's passionate. He cares. He took his shot on me, believed that I could be a leader in the locker room as a young man.
There's nothing he hates more than losing. Nothing. I can't thank him enough for the opportunity that he gave me as a 19-year-old kid. Been there, he knows what success looks like. He knows what it takes to win in this league, and for him to mentor me.
You'll never hear me say a bad word about JP. JP's my man. I'm a ride or die with John Paxson.
I think you can say this is my Hall of Fame, and I know I'm lucky, incredibly humbled and honored. I never thought when I came here in October of '85 that I'd be sitting here today, 40 years later, still caring as much as I do about the organization and the success of it.